Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about some books that would be great for Easter baskets. Now, every year we don't do Easter baskets. Some years we have, some years we haven't. My mom is actually in charge of Easter baskets this year, which is awesome. Thank you, Mom, if you're watching. But I wanted to show you a couple of books that I think would be great for people from any belief system. There are two, I think, that are more geared towards Christians, but these are just books that talk about bigger truths that I think are great for springtime, for fostering compassion and understanding in your children, which are really my favorite kind of books anyway. So without any further ado, I will jump right in. This first one is actually based off of the creation narrative, but what I like about it is it does a separate spin, and it is When God Was a Little Girl. This is actually written by David Weiss and illustrations by Joanne Hernandez Lindemann, which is actually a friend of a friend. That's how I found out about this book. And in this book, this little girl asks her dad to tell her about when God was a little girl. And her dad does. And I think, yeah, it's actually signed too. He goes through and tells her a story kind of spinning off of the traditional creation narrative about when God was a little girl and how God chose to make the world with all the different colors and feelings. And it's just such a pretty illustrated book. I like that the illustrations are very multicultural in scope, very diverse looking people, which is important to me. And I love that God is a little girl, because I think there are so many times where girls and women don't feel that connection to the divine, especially in the Christian tradition. And I love this book. Cannot recommend it enough. I've given it away on several occasions. The next one is also based off of a Bible thing, but I think it's just, it's also off of Peter, Paul, and Mary song, I think, if that's correct. To Everything There Is a Season, and this is by Leo and Diane Dillon. And look at the illustrations on that. It just talks about how there's a time for everything, to be born, to die, and they have, again, artistic renderings that are based off of very different cultures. So you can see an Asian one there. It's just really cool. And in the back, I feel like they even talk about where the inspiration comes for each illustration. Again, especially with a change in seasons, this is just a really cool book to put in there, and the artwork is stunning. So the next ones are my middle child's favorite books. And he's actually, Douglas Wood is coming out with a new one. It's Old Turtle. And this series, this is Old Turtle, and this is Old Turtle and the Broken Truth. And in this, Old Turtle is very old, and he knows a lot of, you can see there's a Pokemon card as a bookmark for my 6-year-old. And lots of Pokemon cards that just fell out. Old Turtle goes through, and people have forgotten that they belong to each other and that everyone is just as important as the next person. And I think these books both share just a great truth that we need to remember, that just because we are important doesn't mean someone else is less important. And I love these books. Plus, they have great illustrations. I'll show you kind of some of the, of course I pick a page without any, like, look at that. Just beautiful watercolors. You can see some of that. It's just really beautiful, and there are several times I've actually had to quit reading at the end and have my kids finish because, again, I'm crying. I cry at like all the kids' books, if you didn't know that. This next one is You Are Stardust by Ellen Kelsey, and it's artwork by Soyeon Kim. And this is just a really neat science-y book with some mixed media art illustrations. And it talks about how atoms are composed and how they're recycled throughout time and space. And it's just a really neat science book. If you are not so keen on the evolutionary perspective, this might bug you. We have no problem with that at our house. I think it's just a gorgeous book about being made of stardust and how science works. So there you go. Next up is Anything by Todd Parr. We love the Peace book. I actually just got this feel-good book at our library sale. And Todd Parr just has such simple line-drawn illustrations, very whimsical. The people are always blue and yellow and green and pink hair and green hair. It's just so fun. Very simple words, so your child can even memorize them. So they're even great for toddlers, but my older kids think they're funny too. But I think what's great about him is he's very inclusive. His mommy's book has mommies of all different kinds and daddies of all different kinds. And his family's book represents so many different kinds of families. Families that live together, families that don't, families with 2 daddies, families with lots of grandparents, families with no grandparents. And I just really appreciate that Todd does a great job of showing the diversity of life, and in a really fun way. The next one is another Christian one. It's the Children of God Storybook Bible, and it's Archbishop Desmond Tutu put it together, but the illustrations are from all different artists. And again, I really, really wish this was not just a picture Bible and this went all the way through, because I think it's brilliant. Jesus is not a white man. God is not just a white bearded man, and I love that. People can be represented from all different kinds all over the world, and that's what I think about life. And this last one is Marilyn's Monster, and this is just a really neat book. It's actually illustrated by Matt Phelan, which we just found and adore now, but it's Michelle Knudsen, and my eldest, who is 8, and a boy actually, adores this book. The idea behind this book is Marilyn is looking around for her monster. Everyone else apparently in her town gets a monster, and the monster finds them, and she keeps looking and looking for her monster, and everyone else seems to have one, and she doesn't know where hers is or what's going on with it. And she ends up going out and searching for her monster, who she finds. And I love that it talks about wanting what other people want and how that's difficult sometimes, how it talks about sometimes going out and making your own destiny and your own fate, and how that might look different for different people. I mean, just look at this. Where are you? This one is my favorite illustration. Right here, when she finds him. So I just think it's a really neat book about a bigger truth. And yeah, Matt Phelan, pretty much anything he's illustrated, I'm a fan. So that is it for my favorite picture books that I think talk about something bigger, great for Easter baskets. I would love to know which ones you have. Again, Velveteen Rabbit, another perfect one, but my daughter is sleeping with it in her room, so I'm not going to show you my copy, even though it's beautiful. I will talk to you all later. Have a great day. Bye.